Today, let's talk about the Facebook ads that everybody thinks is eventually going to be extinct, but is very much alive, as I'll just show you in just a second. So, if it's the first time joining one of my lives, I'm Brian Czekanski, and I help mom-focused businesses crack the codes on Facebook ads so they can scale their business and cut their work hours in half. So, post the Apple iOS update earlier this year, back in March or April, everybody was expecting kind of the similar pattern of retargeting. They're called retargeting ads, but it's basically those ads that they seem like they're always kind of following you around the internet. So if you click on somebody's website, you immediately go to Google or you go to Facebook, and you get hit with this specific ad like, hey, you just visit this website, feel free to check out here or go back to this link or things like that. So and that was kind of the impetus, at least from a marketing perspective, for Apple to go out there and do their privacy settings and say that we're not going to allow Facebook to go out there and track you as much as they are right now. So what what Apple has done is given you the ability to either opt in or opt out of that tracking, and effectively that should cut off some of the retargeting ads that kind of follow you around the various different platforms overall. And based on the numbers that we're seeing right now, like the latest ones that I saw, about 9% of Apple users are opting in for tracking their ads. So effectively, retargeting as a whole should eventually go away. But I kind of want to walk you through, if you're still running campaigns and you're still thinking about setting up retargeting ads, giving you a little bit more detail about what retargeting ads are all about and why they're super valuable and why you should continue to use them, because you still have that customer base that has Android, that can still be use that retargeting ads, but also, the small amount of Apple users that you might have as an audience as well might be useful to do some retargeting ads there. And as I walk you through, you don't really have much to lose. You kind of have everything to gain in terms of retargeting ads, because every time you send somebody back to one of your order forms or sales pages gives you the potential to get some more money down the line. And then I'm going to talk about kind of the next era of retargeting ads, because as a marketer, I really like the ability to kind of follow that person around, whether they've shown an interest in one of my videos or one of my products, the ability to send them a second ad or a third ad or a fourth ad to kind of remind them that I'm still here, that they should go to my sales page, go back to that order form, is really valuable. Because not as you look at the average consumer, they need 5 to 7 touch points before they're ready to actually go out there and buy your product. So in terms of brand building, it's really helpful to be able to follow somebody around and say like, hey, thanks for showing interest. Here's a little bit more about me, or those kind of things. So we're going to show you in just a second how you can continue to do that. And more and more, it's really coming up with my clients. How can we build a campaign to start building and take somebody that has never heard of your brand before, and how can we get them to the point where they're interested, they know a lot about you, and they're more comfortable in potentially buying from you along the way. So let's just kind of start with just a tutorial in terms of what retargeting is all about. If we take kind of the old form of thinking about that, I'll just bring up a chart here to kind of walk you through it. So for this one here, I just kind of want to walk you through what it looks like. So your typical campaign in terms of how you're trying to sell to somebody, maybe you start with an email to your email list, maybe you have a Facebook ad, maybe you have some content marketing, but effectively you're just trying to get your audience to a website or a sales page. In this example, just imagine that you were selling a course that has a sales page. And once they go through the sales page, everything looks great. They go to an order form, and then the last page is kind of a thank you page. They put through their credit card, they hit submit, and everything else. So where does retargeting come in? Retargeting basically comes in is for each of these pages, you're going to put that pixel code on on these pages. And again, I've done a video on the pixel code. I'll link it above just so you have a little bit more information about that. But basically allows Facebook to continue to follow that person from Facebook all the way to those websites. Again, the Apple iOS update is not allowing Facebook to track that person from Facebook to their website as accurately or as transparently as they previously did. But again, it's worth just setting up the Facebook pixel for your sales page, order form, thank you page, because again, there's all those Android users that are out there. You might have a small percentage of those Apple users that are continuing to, did allow the tracking to happen. And also Apple is still sending back information back to Facebook in terms of some conversions as well. So it's worth setting up. But basically, you would set up a retargeting ad anytime somebody came to your sales page. So say somebody came to your sales page, they read it through, and for whatever reason, they closed the window. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. Maybe they went to the sales page and they weren't interested. But maybe the scenario is maybe they went to your sales page and they got distracted by the thousands of other things that are going to catch their attention. Maybe they got a notification on their phone. Maybe they got an email. Maybe, a bird passed by their window and they just got distracted and they didn't read the rest of your sales page. That doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means that for whatever reason, they went to your sales page and for whatever reason, they didn't take the action that you wanted it to. So what do you do in this circumstance? You would set up a Facebook retargeting ad. So this is just a conversion, typically set up as a conversion ad, where you go out and you ask Facebook to build an audience of people that have been to your sales page, with the exception of those people that have gone all the way to your thank you page. So again, using the pixel, you can kind of track and let Facebook know, and you can kind of exclude all those people that have actually taken the actions that you want them to, basically all those buyers. So you can exclude all those buyers that went all the way through, but just came to your sales page and closed the window. So, in the days that follow, anytime they come back to your in their Facebook news feed, you send them a conversion ad. Sometimes a conversion ad doesn't have enough data. So that's when you could potentially switch over to maybe a reach ad, so that anytime anybody comes to your sales page and they close the window, you're always sending the ad to them. But your first initial point of creating an ad should be that conversion ad, because we really want to optimize Facebook for those people that are actually taking the action that they want, which is basically going all the way to that thank you page and optimizing for that action. So, those people that come to your sales page, they close the window. In those days that follow, we want to put ads in front of them that, basically say like, hey, I know you checked out my sales page. Here's a little bit more about my offer. Here's a link to going back to that sales page, and basically just saying like, I know you checked I know you checked out the sales page. We're still here. We're still available. Here's the link to get back there. To just make it really easy. They've shown some type of interest in your products. They found their way to the sales page. It's just an easy way to say like, okay, maybe you're still interested. Go back to that sales page. And then you're going to have a second group of people that, went back. They actually went through your sales page. Everything looked great, but they went to the order form. And again, something happened. Maybe they put it in their, maybe they went to get to their wallet and pull out their credit card and they got distracted by something else. The phone rang. Their kid, was running around and something happened, whatever it is. And they just, they didn't complete this order and they got lost and nothing happened. They never went to that thank you page. So again, we're going to create a second set of retargeting ads. Again, conversion ads would be your best way to start, because we want to convert and optimize for those people that are actually taking the action that we want them to go to that thank you page. Again, if you don't have enough volume to do that, it might be just a reach ad, might be a second set if there's not enough volume going through each of these stages. But let's again, you set up a retargeting ad, and you might set up a series of these retargeting ads, especially if you have enough volume. In those days that follow, you send them a link that says like, hey, I saw that you went to my order form. You didn't quite pull out your credit card, or something happened, or whatever it is. Please go back to this link. Make it really super easy for them. They've already shown that they've gotten to that order form. For whatever reason, something happened. You're just kind of sending them a friendly reminder to go back. It's kind of like, it's kind of like going to Amazon and having putting a bunch of stuff in the cart, and for whatever reason you didn't actually buy that stuff. So that's the same thing we're doing here. We're just saying like, hey, you've almost got stuff in the cart here. You're ready to check out, and just something happened. Why don't you go back there and kind of complete your purchase? And all these things are really beneficial because, again, it might be just something completely out of your control, something in their world that distracted them. They really actually want to complete that purchase, but you kind of just fell out of their mind for whatever reason. So by continuing to follow up, that follow-up is really key to actually getting a few more sales along the way. And again, the great part is, like, again, the Apple iOS update is going to make this, less and less useful. It's going to take away some of that tracking over time. But again, you have those Android users, you have those people that did opt in for the tracking, where it might make sense for that. And the best part is that you've set up retargeting for an audience that only, viewed your sales page, or only viewed your order form. So Facebook is only delivering ads to those people specifically that have visited each of those pages, and you're sending them a link back to those pages to kind of complete the purchase along the way. So again, you don't have a ton to lose here. Obviously, you could have people go back to your sales page or your order form and they don't complete the action. But if you have a few of those people that complete the action, actually go through, that can more than make up for any ad spend that you have out there along the way. So it's worth just kind of setting it up, taking a look, testing it out for what works for your actions. But again, this is one of that will kind of slow down over time. So I want to talk about kind of the next level of retargeting. And that really becomes like, how do we start retargeting people that stay within Facebook? So again, the Apple iOS update has kind of make it really difficult for Facebook to track those people that go outside of the Facebook ecosystem. But if we keep people within the Facebook ecosystem and can kind of track, like, what are those the things that they're interested in, that can be really valuable in terms of retargeting going forward. So the way I'm kind of really thinking about it, and the way it's kind of coming through with clients is, and I'll just set up a diagram here, but like really using video as a way to start to build interest in your product and really to introduce yourself. So the first thing is you start out with a video ad. So again, these are video view ads. So we're really just tracking how much of that specific video a specific audience is watching. And we're going to go into Business Manager, and we're going to track, within that, we're going to track something like, okay, if I have a 1-minute video to start, I'm going to track the audience that watches 75% of that video. And I'm going to start to build audiences based on that. And your video one, if I just used like the product launch formula, Jeff Walker's type of system, and really think about kind of his videos and maybe kind of format it for Facebook. Video one could really be about the opportunity set for your audience, like in terms of your product or your service. What is the opportunity that your product or service gives them? Like, again, we want to be always selling the outcome of our services and our product, and not the actual services and product. We always want to be selling, what is that destination? What's that outcome? Once you buy my product, what's that service? Like, how is your life going to change? So in video one, we can start to help our audience start to visualize, okay, like, what is really going to happen? Like, start to build those seeds of opportunity, especially in video one. And again, those people that watch, again, it's only a 1-minute video, but if somebody watches like 45 seconds or a little bit more than that of our video, we know we've kind of captured their attention. There is some interest there. So it's worth kind of taking that next step. So again, in terms of retargeting, we're gonna only focus on those people that watched 75% of that 1-minute video, and we're gonna send them a second video. So if I just copy and paste this over, we've got video number 2 now. So again, you've got a large amount of opportunities that you could talk about, but in this scenario, think about like, okay, maybe as you think about kind of Eugene Schwartz's and his kind of copywriting philosophies, and you might not know them that well, but like, think about your audience. They might have some false beliefs about the problem they're facing right now. Maybe they don't even realize the problem that your product or service solves. Maybe they don't even realize they have that problem, or they have something holding them back. So in video 2, it could be a great way to start to educate or provide some value to your audience, and saying like, okay, like, you have this specific problem that you might not, you have, like, take weight loss, for example. Like, everybody has, there's a large group of, like, there's a huge audience where people are looking to lose weight, but can't figure out how to do it on a consistent basis. So here's a great one where you can kind of knock down some of those false beliefs of, okay, it's all about having a specific diet or exercising 6 or 7 days a week, all those kind of things, and kind of knocking those beliefs down. It's really about what marketing is all about. How can I shift my beliefs to the point where my prospect is ready and willing to buy from me because of my unique formula or my unique mechanism. So video 2 can be a great way to just provide some education around your audience around their specific problem, maybe letting them know like what is their specific problem, because they might not even realize it. And if they do realize it, how can we kind of shift their beliefs or assumptions around that so they're in the right place to start to consider our offer, our service, our product, whatever it is. Again, you can see in video 1 or 2, we're not actually going out there and giving them a direct pitch because they're not ready for it yet, because they just met us. Again, it's just like dating. You wouldn't go on a first date and propose right away. We're kind of just we're dating them along the way. We want to get to the point where, again, the on average, people need 5 to 7 touch points before they're ready to potentially buy from you. So this is a great way of doing that. So then you get down to you get down to video 3. And again, we're only retargeting, we're only showing these videos to people that have shown interest along the way. So again, we get down to video 3, and we're only showing this to people that have watched 75% of this video 1, and those people that have watched 75% of video 2. And again, we're gonna create an audience in Facebook for those people that have watched each of these videos 1 and 2 75%, maybe video 3 by 75%, and that's when we're gonna go to video 4, video 5. So you might have up to 3 to 5 videos to kind of introduce your product or your service, kind of introduce yourself along the way, share some stories. So video 3 could be it could be a success story that you've had, talking about maybe the opportunity set, talking about a transformational story, how this how this happy client that you've had before didn't realize the problem that they had, but they were able to realize this opportunity. So kind of taking some of the topics from video 1 and video 2 and kind of really bringing it to life, building some credibility, bringing in some proof points, that can be really helpful. And then as you think about it in video 4 or 5, those can be some longer videos. So instead of maybe a 1-minute video, you can put a 5-minute video in there and maybe talk a little bit about your story, or to kind of introduce yourself. And especially in those instances where your life story kind of matches up and you can say, I've been in your shoes before, prospect, and here's my transformational story along the way. But you can see how the idea is like, I'm only sending videos to people that have shown some type of interest. So that's going to keep your lead costs down. It's going to allow you to, it's a great way of thinking about targeting as well. Like as the targeting kind of diminishes and the targeting power of on Facebook kind of diminishes as the Apple iOS update comes through. I mean, Facebook still has a ton of data in terms of your broader audience, in terms of who they're interacting with on Facebook, what pages they're liking, all those kind of things. So you can still use that targeting capability, that targeting criteria, and you can use these videos to even make that even better by identifying those people that are showing an interest in your product and your service and your opportunity set and the problems that you solve, and all along the way, to only make sure that your videos are being put in front of the right people. And eventually you get to the point where you're going to send out a conversion ad. It might be, again, you might send out 3 to 4 or 5 videos, again, kind of building audiences of those people that have watched the majority of your videos, but really think about it as an introduction. And then you get to the point where you can send them a conversion ad. Again, it could be a lead magnet with a potential offer at the end, at the end, other side of it. Can be just a regular conversion ad that goes to your sales page. And this is where you kind of almost come back up here. You have a sales page, an order form, a thank you page. Again, you can use those kind of regular retargeting ads that you'd use all along the way. But you can see how I'm using video and everybody's staying on the platform. So again, I'm not sending them a link outside of Facebook. They're all staying within Facebook. We're tracking it via video view ads, and everybody is staying within that. You're just sending them a series of different ads. So on day 1, they might see video 1. And if, in the next 2 or 3 days, they might see video 2. A week from now, they might see video 3. And again, you're kind of just tracking. And again, it's kind of that retargeting that's happening. So they're only going to get the opportunity to see your ad when they're on the Facebook newsfeed and kind of seeing it along the way. But we're using their interest in those prior videos to only put it in front of people that are the right people for our product or service, and have, for whatever reason, we've caught their attention enough that they're not scrolling all the way through. They're watching, 75% or more. and you're really just continuing the conversation. So that's really what retargeting is all about. Like, your consumers are distracted by, thousands of different things at any given moment. If we can kind of keep their attention, continue that conversation, stay top of mind with them, it's going to make it more likely that they eventually take that next step and actually make a purchase, or at the very least kind of reach out for a conversation and differentiate your brand from all the others that are out there. So again, retargeting becoming a lot more focused on, those users staying within Facebook, using video as a way to see and hear from somebody just like you. You can use success stories, you can talk about the opportunity set, you can educate them and provide value around their problem. And this is where you can kind of talk a lot about your unique formula, your unique mechanism. Again, this is really important, especially in those more saturated markets, where you have to really kind of knock down some of those other options and not be in a state where your offer kind of just seems like everything else that is out there. So hope that was helpful in terms of getting a little bit more glimpse onto what retargeting is all about. Again, I've got a little bit more detail, like in my opt-in right there, fullconfidenceads.com, really designed to give you kind of the if you're just thinking about launching Facebook ads for your business, get a little bit more eyeballs there. That's perfectly fine. I'm in there from kind of a beginner stance. You'll know everything from soup to nuts in terms of what you have to know. But if you're running Facebook ads right now and you're just looking, and there's a little bit more potential, you're thinking about other ways that you can optimize what you're already doing, what you can test out, I've got a whole section on that as well. It's all about kind of having a 5-step process that I kind of detail throughout the program, so that you have a great idea of how can my ads be profitable from day one. So that, this is the kind of the issue that I see in working with clients all the time, is they don't really have that end in mind, that end outcome. Like, eventually we want to start with running Facebook ads and then being profitable right away, so that you don't just have a giant expense line. And in that 5-step formula, I really start with that end in mind. How can we create strategies that are going to get you money coming in the door right away, so that ad spend is covered, but also making some money on top of that? That's really important, especially if you want to be running Facebook ads on a continuous basis. So check that out, fullconfidenceads.com, and I'll check you out for the next live.